Hey everyone, good Saturday afternoon. Hogs win, so everybody's happy, so that's nice. As you can see, I'm doing this Facebook Live from my house. Now, here's the deal. This is a little bit of a different setup. You let me know if everything's working, and first of all, let me know if you can hear me. So we've got a lot to talk about. This is a big storm system that's moving in, and there's going to be a lot of things that you need to know about this. So we're going to detail the different models. We're going to detail some of the concerns. We're going to detail some of many of the other things in terms of the temperatures, and also we're talking about snow amounts and why the models sometimes aren't the best to look at this. And we're going to even dive into the system now. So Josh is like just getting back from the Razorback game. Let's play Pinion. Pinion, the Minion. I think it's a opinion that dude is really good and can shoot free throws. So first of all, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take you through what's happening today and tomorrow, because that's kind of like the little appetizer. That's the little taste. And then we've got the main course. So we've got the full meal coming on Tuesday into Wednesday. So without further ado, let's go ahead and we'll take a look at this full screen here briefly. So welcome to my home. Wanted to do this Facebook Live. Hopefully the internet doesn't cause hiccups. Hopefully the issues don't happen. We don't have any technical issues. So far, so good. So let's dive into it on here. So first of all, more impactful weather, winter weather, is looking likely. And so we're looking at the temperatures and the precipitation. This storm system that's coming in will no doubt bring winter weather impacts. So with that being said, let's first of all take a look at what we've got in terms of the precipitation for this system that's coming in. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to take a look at the radar, because it could be looking like a winter wonderland on Tuesday. So first of all, I'm going to make this full screen, so stand by here. All right, so now this is Mega Doppler, and hopefully if I hit this, you can still hear me while I'm showing this. There's the precipitation that's moving in. This is all rain. This is not a big deal. It's not going to amount to much. However, there is going to be a little bit of a wintry mix for tomorrow. And if we look at the satellite and radar, you can see that storm system that's moving in. There's the satellite and radar showing that precipitation that's moving in. And you'll notice that there's the back edge that really doesn't have a whole lot of precipitation. However, there is the wraparound. The wraparound moisture is pretty intense. And if we kind of tilt to the northwest, you can see a lot of snow that's occurring in Kansas. Well, you know what? The track of this low is not favorable for a lot of winter weather for us, but it is for Kansas City. They're getting clobbered. And so it should be maybe an interesting game with the Chiefs that are playing with the snowfall coming down. So notice to the northwest that precipitation still continues, and we'll continue to see that activity moving in from the northwest. Now, here's what we've got when we look at the water vapor. So the water vapor, this storm system's churning, but you can also see the track of this low is a little bit to the northwest. Now, here's the devil in the details. This is what some people won't tell you. There's going to be winter weather potential tomorrow, but it's not from this low. It's actually from a piece of energy that's diving in from the northwest. This is oftentimes not analyzed by many people. And so I do think this squeezes out a little bit of winter weather. It's not the low that's currently coming in, because people looking at that would be like, oh, it's not going to rain or precipitate at all very much. No, on the backside after this moves out, no, it doesn't. But if we look at, again, that system that's diving in from the northwest, that's going to bring the potential for a little more winter weather. It's very light, though. I've got to stress that. This is not going to be a big deal tonight and into tomorrow. So don't even think that this is going to be a big snowstorm for Sunday, and Monday is going to be great weather. Tuesday is when things get bad, and we will dive into that. But first of all, I got to give you the near-term forecast. So if we take a look at what's happening, someone says, go Chiefs too, Chantel. Mountain Home, you're looking good for accumulating snow. So stick around. I will show you that. Just bear with me. We will get into the details for this system on Tuesday. But watch what happens. So Saturday night, the system starts moving east, And now you're going to start to see this energy that I pointed out to you on the water vapor diving in for the northwest. And what does it do? It's going to, at this point, Sunday, start to squeeze out precipitation. Now the high-res models are starting to show this. They're starting to indicate it. It's only going to be a dusting, even in higher elevations at most. I think you'll see some snowflakes. It's kind of like snow for show, as William Morrison would say. He's been practicing at our station and trying to get better in front of the weather wall. But there's the system moving out. Okay, well, the models don't go beyond that for the graph, so we can't look at that. Now, here's the snow totals for this system for Sunday. And you're looking at this going, oh, whatever. This isn't a big deal at all. Let me make this full screen so you can see. Yes, very, very little. Higher elevations, maybe a slight dusting. You might wake up and be like, well, it's actually snowing on Sunday. So this is mainly Sunday morning into the afternoon for the timing for that precipitation. Other than that, though, we're not going to see much on Sunday. But that's okay, because guess what? That's not what we're here for. We're here for the main course. By the way, all the models are showing very little snow. Now you're like, oh, I thought we were going to get a lot. This is just the 3-day total. This only goes out until Monday. So all models are showing at least a little bit, and I do expect that for Sunday because of the back edge of that system. But now it's time to move on to the main course. So let's let this system go ahead and get on out of here. The feature presentation, if you're a big movie buff like myself, and you watch the previews and you like the previews and you get to see that, this system coming in Sunday morning, it's the preview. Tuesday into Wednesday is the feature presentation. So let's take a look at this full screen, and let's kind of tick through some of the details on this. First of all, there is your storm system, just now starting to move into the Pacific Northwest. The storm system that's going to be impacting us, that's coming in tonight and into tomorrow, well, guess what? It's this system right here. You can see the system diving in. There's another piece of the low that's bringing precipitation now this afternoon and evening. And then the big system's coming in for the Northwest. So you know what we got to do? Let's track this baby. Let's go back several days ago. And we're going to see if we can pinpoint and detect this vorticity. So this might take a little while to load because there's a lot of information. So I'll tell you what, I'm not going to wait for that. Let's go back to just this. Here's the water vapor loop. Here's our low. This is the system that's coming in on Tuesday. Now, in order to detect this, here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at what's called vorticity. And the vorticity will help us see exactly where the storm system is. So there it is, already fairly strong. Watch it start diving south. This storm system moves out, by the way, the one that's going to impact us as we head into tonight and into tomorrow. That moves out. We're quiet for Monday. Temperatures will be above freezing. And here comes the monster. This is a massive system. The only concern with this is, well, there's two concerns. Temperatures at the surface and in the low levels. And this is a massive vortex. Very, very strong. The track of this low is going to be what we call boom or bust. Now, what I mean by that is we could either get a whole lot of snow across a lot of northwest Arkansas, or there will be places that see a lot of snow and other places that don't see a lot. So we're going to highlight that. We're going to go into that as that storm system moves out. There is, I think, another piece of energy that people aren't talking about, and this will bring us additional snow. You won't hear about this anywhere else either. There will be another piece of energy because the storm system is so big, and yes, the moisture will be kind of squandered a little bit, but I think it squeezes out some light snow and some snow flurries, perhaps a little bit of additional accumulation. So don't be surprised if a winter storm warning is issued by Monday night, going until Wednesday morning, and then they extend that as that second piece of energy comes in right there and starts to dive in. See, there's a lot of pieces of energy that move through that could squeeze out a little bit of precipitation. Okay, so now it's finally time to check out the future track, and we'll step through this. You don't need to see me. Here's the future track hour by hour. So first of all, the system coming in overnight tonight. A little bit of precipitation. Here comes a second wave of energy, squeezing out a little bit of snow, and then it's gone. Big deal. Tuesday in the morning, we're fine. Tuesday late morning, we're fine. Tuesday afternoon, we're fine. Temperatures will be above freezing. This will most likely start off as a rain. Do not be surprised that it starts off as a rain. As dynamic cooling takes place in the column, which is basically a way of saying we're dragging colder air from aloft down to the surface, we start to see snow. But do you notice how it's mixed with snow? That's all because of the track and the precipitation. But you'll notice that we've got definitely areas of snowfall. And then the storm system evolves, and now we're starting to get the wraparound. So by Wednesday early morning, we're talking after midnight into the morning hours, Northwest Arkansas will be snowing, and it'll be snowing heavy. It's that Tuesday afternoon, evening time frame when models are sometimes showing snow that I think it's more of a cold rain and sleet compared to all snow. Now, the storm system is going to be moving out, as you can see. Low pressure system moves through. There's a little bit of that back edge of the energy, and then by Wednesday night, it's gone, and it's out of here. So that's the very latest European, by the way. So what does this mean for snow totals? Well, let's check it out. So here's the little system that comes through tomorrow, squeezes out a little bit of precipitation by Sunday evening. It is snowing quite a bit, though, in northern Kansas as well as northwestern Missouri, and there's the snow that comes down. Now, here comes the system coming in from the west. Let's watch it. Big system evolving, tracts of snow, areas of snow farther south now in central Arkansas. We're going to take a zoomed in look, too, as well. But notice as we move into Wednesday morning, that snowfall really starts to pick up. And as Joshua Rugger just mentioned, gorilla flakes, not out of the realm of possibility. At the end of this Facebook Live, can you show us that global view? Yes, I will. I will show it. We'll see if it loads in time. And as it's loading, I'll answer some of your questions. So let's take a look at this again, and we're going to zoom in. Now, before I show this, okay, before I show these snow totals, just be aware that this is just a model. I'm doing this for you guys for Facebook Live because this is what you guys want to see. And be looking at these totals with caution because as I'm going to dive in and geek in, it's not always exactly what it shows with accumulation because there's what's called compaction and melting and many other different things that come to fruition with winter storms. But with that being said, there's a little bit of that light snow. Then you'll notice by Tuesday morning, nothing going on, right? Watch what happens Tuesday evening. Already a ½ inch by Tuesday night. Some areas farther south where they're closer to the dynamics of this low, you've got heavier snow potential. Higher elevations, that's a dead giveaway, folks. If you're watching in Madison County, especially Kingston, Laura Waldron, be ready for getting crushed by this system. Laura Waldron, you've also got 1½ inches in Jasper. I talked to Les Murphy. He was actually in Fayetteville today with robotics competition, and there's the precipitation that's moving in. Now we're starting to pile up those snow totals. And so the European is showing a little less, 3 inches over northwest Arkansas for the I-49 corridor, which is what I kind of said, 2 to 4. She said, I'm here. But areas in eastern Madison County, Newton County, Boone County, you guys could be getting well over 6 inches. But the question lies is, what's the temperature going to do at the surface? So that's one model, okay? And then here's what we're going to do. We're going to zoom in even more for you. So this is a zoomed in view from northwest Arkansas, and there you get to see around 2.5 inches. And so I kind of zipped through that real quick. Let me go back to that real fast. So here's the European, and we'll stop it right there. By Thursday morning, that's your snow totals. The reason that the snow is less, as you'll see, compared to the GFS is all because of the track. The track of the low is going to be key. And we're talking about 30 miles can make a huge difference in that snow accumulation because if that track is just a little bit farther south, guess what? Your temperatures are colder, you're going to get more precipitation. So we'll go back to, someone had a question about the Little Rock area. So here's what we'll do. Justin, I see your comment, and what we'll do is we'll kind of step through this. And so right there, we'll stop it on Tuesday night. And because you're watching, I'll zoom in here and we'll take a look. And so there's a look at the Little Rock area. I don't have all that stuff plotted, but it is going to be on the lighter end, Justin, for the Little Rock area. But the Clinton area could be seeing a little bit more. So I don't have all those counties plotted on there, but Clinton's located, just a little east of, as you know, Johnson County. It looks like kind of a bullseye for you. In those higher elevations, you could be getting more snow. If we look at now the GFS, this is where the GFS is going absolutely gung-ho on this precipitation, so, and including the snowfall. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to zoom in on this. We're going to show you step by step the GFS. There's the precipitation that comes in for early morning tomorrow into late morning. So really Sunday afternoon is going to be when we see just a little light accumulation. Here's Tuesday's system. Now look at this thing. Gorilla gangbusters, crazy off the charts snowfall. Do I believe it? No, I don't. And I'll show you the exact reason why I don't believe it. But there's a little bit of that light snow, dusting, not much to write home about. Tuesday, it already, if you noticed, it already had snow accumulating at noon on Tuesday. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry, that's not going to take place. So already those snow totals are higher than what they should be. Going back and stepping through this, there you go, snow lovers. We just zipped right along all the way through. By the way, Mountain View, you're in that area as well. So we're looking at, over 10 inches. But the problem is that that's not what's going to happen unless the track of the system is farther south, which, by the way, we will check out and we'll look at this. But if we zoom in on that and look at some of the areas in Northwest Arkansas, you're going to see 10.4, 10.8 in Jasper. And so, yeah, there you go. Let me do this real quick. I'll load up, because we do have some people that are watching. I'm going to load up real fast the snowfall, like a wide view for the state with some totals on there. So stand by here real quick. All this, it's a DMA, designated market area wide view. And so we'll bring this up and I'll show you what we've got. Okay. Here you go. This will have Little Rock in there and Mountain View, because I saw some people asking about that. So there's the future models for the European, showing 4.4 for the Mountain View area. There you can see it. So that goes all the way until, as you can tell, Thursday morning. So that's when you see the most snow. If we look at the GFS and do that DMA view again, stand by. I'm glad I had these views in place. So let me look at this real fast. There we go. We'll load this up. And so there's the GFS for the snowfall in Mountain View, almost a foot. Yeah, all right. Well, that's a little too much. And here's why. This is where we're going to start to geek out. So there's your snow. We'll do a quick recap on this as well. But what we're taking a look at, I'm going to stand by here. All right. So just to recap all this, system coming in Tuesday. It starts Tuesday evening as a cold rain for most of us, except higher elevations in the Boston Mountains, the Ouachitas, even areas in the River Valley, like Kavanaugh Hill, Poto Mountain, all these areas that are going to see colder temperatures at first. We'll start seeing accumulation earlier. But now we got to dive into the models. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at the latest, what's called European. And so we're going to look at this right here. And I'm using this on a different source. So first of all, the track of this low, let's check it out. Right here is the track of the low. There's the system that moves through for tomorrow. Then you can actually see that backside of the energy. I don't know if you noticed that or not. Right here, this is the back edge of the energy that provides the winter weather potential as we move into our tomorrow morning into the afternoon. There's the system diving. There it is moving east. Now, do you see the way that this track of the low starts what we call ejecting? Ejecting means it moves more easterly instead of digging. Here it's digging. This, by the way, is just to let you know, Monday night. Here's Tuesday at midnight. Here's Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. Here's noon, 6 p.m. See how that starts ejecting? Gosh, because that's happening, the thermal profiles are going to be so close to being above freezing that some areas will see the snow and some areas won't. And so you got to look at that and be like, well, gosh, that's just like basically right over us. This, by the way, is the newest one too, the 12Z European. Now, the GFS is a little bit farther south. So if we go into the snow totals, here you can see it right there. There's the track of the low. There's the system moving in. That's a wide view, but it shows you that area of snowfall. So if we look at the deterministic models, for Fayetteville, it's showing 8 inches of snow. The problem is that not all this will be accumulating at first, Tuesday night, because look at the temperatures, 35. I'll bring this up full so you can see it a little bit better. We've got 35. We've got 33. All that is showing temperatures above freezing while there's precipitation. While it can snow above freezing, the accumulation, unless it's really heavy, probably won't take place. So if we look at something, and this is, I want to tell you this, you need to know this, snow depth. Snow depth, folks, is the key. Because what that does is that takes into account compaction, melting, all the different things that happen with especially a wet snow, because a wet snow is not going to pile up as easily as a dry snow with the temperatures being borderline freezing. So if we go back to this, this is the snowfall depth. And you'll notice those numbers aren't nearly as significant with the GFS track, according to the latest GFS. So if you're seeing this, look at Newton County, Boone County, Madison County. Again, Laura, you will get over 5 inches in my opinion. But there you see the system farther west, not as much. Let's go to the GFS. The GFS is showing deterministic for the 12Z model run, 14 inches of snow. That's not going to happen. But you know what? You hear that from other people, but that's not the case. Now, if we look at snow depth, look at the snow depth for the GFS. This means how high the snow will pile up after it's all said and done, not taking liquid equivalent and converting it immediately into snowfall accumulation. And you notice that this doesn't have nearly as much. Does it snow? Yes, you will have snow in Northwest Arkansas. There's no doubt about that. Will you see snow in the river valley? Most likely. This will be a winter storm too. And Quinn, I've got that coming very, very soon, so you can see that. But as Josh just said right here, the crazy posts you see on social media are a 10-to-1 ratio. Snow depth is far better. Not only that, Josh, but this isn't going to be a 10-to-1 ratio because our temperatures are going to be borderline freezing. If we go to the surface temperatures and look at it, you're going to see 34, 34, 33, and it actually warms up. I don't know if I buy that or not. The GFS has it warming up on Tuesday to 37. However, I will say this, that sometimes the models are underdone with the amount of warm air that comes in. While it's showing snow, it's sleet. And when it shows sleet, it's more rain. I've learned that from many, many times. This is going to be a 5 to 7-to-1 ratio. What does that mean? That means that 5 inches of snow is equal to, if you melt all that down, 1 inch of liquid equivalent water. So it takes, because the water content in the snow is greater, that means that when you melt down the snow, the amount of liquid to make 1 inch is less. But if you have a very dry snow and it's piling up really high, you melt down those dry flakes, they don't have as much water, and you melt that down and it takes more to reach 1 inch. This is actually a very key to the part of the forecast. And like I said, we're geeking out, right? Let me show you snow ratios. This is a cool graphic where it shows the snow to liquid ratio. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring this up so you can see this full screen. All right, so here is liquid to snow ratios. And so first of all, I'm going to add this into my show so you can see this. So stand by. Okay. So different surface temperatures will yield different amounts of precipitation. So 1 inch of water, liquid equivalent, at 34 degrees is typically about a 5 to 7 to 1 ratio. So that means that 7 inches of snow is only equal to 1 inch of liquid equivalent water. 10 inches of snow at 32 will be 1 inch. That's what people show all the time when you're looking at those snowfall maps that people post. So the ground temperatures are warm, so a lot of that's going to melt initially too. Now, what about a dry snow? You remember that big snow that we had on February 9th, 2011, where it was about 10, 15 degrees? That's a 25 to 1 ratio. So you got 25 inches of snow, you melt that down, and that's how much equals 1 inch of liquid equivalent. So what the models are doing here is they're taking all of this snow and they're converting it to liquid equivalent. That's why you have to look at snow depth. And if anybody doesn't look at snow depth, then they're not doing proper justice to winter weather forecasting. Now, here's an issue. We can't show that on our weather graphics because snow depth is not an option that's available. I wish it was. We need to make them add it, but it's not. So that's what we're looking at there. Let's go back to some more computer models. And someone asked, is this going to be a winter storm? Well, let's look at the ensembles. So ensemble forecasting is the way to go long term. When you start getting closer, you go more high resolution modeling. Josh, there's always one of them in there. 10. You see the 10 right here? Model member number 10 isn't showing any snow. It's a snow party pooper. But you'll notice here that we've got right here, this is where the snow starts falling, and then this is where it really starts piling up. The control of this model is showing about 8 inches. The mean is showing about 6 inches. So the ensembles are saying, it's coming. We are going to get a winter storm. It's just a matter of who gets the worst. That's what it boils down to at this point. Let's look at the GFS ensemble. The GFS ensemble doesn't have a single party pooper in terms of snowfall. So you'll notice here, it has most of, this is, by the way, we'll work our way from left to right. This is showing very little snow for Sunday, but it has it. It has it in there, which is why we have a wintry mix. Then you can see everything starts piling up Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. And there's the amounts. The GFS is greater because it has more of a southern track. So this is what people show you, though, is this. All the models and all the different things, the deterministic, are showing up there from, 4 to 12, almost 12 inches. So, oh, Josh, I love that one. Member number 10 is Skip Bayless. If you know, you know. It's on Undisputed. That is an undisputed best comment right there. So we're out with the NAM, and the NAM is able to get out just a little bit longer. And so if we look, I'm going to zoom on this. And so here's the precipitation that comes in tomorrow, that back edge of the system, and it moves out. Then you'll notice right about now, here's the precipitation that moves in. But look at this, rain and snow. This is a elevation-driven, along with dynamically cooling driven snowfall event at first. So Kelly's like, don't know. There's a show on Fox Sports called Undisputed, and it's got this guy named Skip. We won't give him much attention, but let's just say sometimes his takes are a little suspect. So we'll go back to the model here and we'll show you. There's the system coming in. The model only goes out to 84 hours. It's showing snow, but at the same time, it shows rain. Let's look at a model sounding and see what we've got here with this system and why there's so much uncertainty. Now, look, here's the 0-degree isotherm. You'll notice that a lot of this is below freezing, but there is low levels right there that is above freezing. Now, this does not mean that you can't get snow accumulation if it's above freezing. If it comes down heavy enough, it's going to accumulate despite the temperature, even if we're at 33, 34. So we will have that potential for accumulation even above freezing. But my concern with this is that the models are underdoing how warm it is here, and this could get warmer, and this could be all a cold rain at first. Now watch what happens as we move along and go over time. You're going to see these upper levels, first of all, dry out. That happens. Well, that's because that went back to the very beginning of the model run. This is the last of the 84 hours out. So here's the NBM. This is the National Blended Model, and it does a fairly good job. If you're wondering about liquid equivalent, we're looking at about 9.2 inches. So what does that mean? I'm 9.2. 0.92. 9.2, we'd be getting buried. 0.92 inches, that is just under an inch of accumulation. So with a 5 to 7 to 1 ratio, there's your model that's showing a general 4.4 amount. So that's the NBM. All right, I'm almost done with this whole spiel. Here's the GFS, and let's look at the track of this system, and we'll show you exactly where it's tracking. If we look at the 500 millibar, this is the vertical vorticity. I want to do the vorticity. And notice the track of this low is, in fact, a little bit farther south. So if we go to a forecast loop, there's the system coming in for tomorrow. Then you can see that moving east. And then there's the track of the low. So notice, man, it is so close. But it's one of those Red River riders, but it doesn't stay east long enough for just a set in stone, no doubt, write it in the books, historic winter storm. The way that system tracks right over Texarkana, DeQueen, Southwest Arkansas, like that, it's going to be so close. What we call boom or bust. It does eject quickly, but I do think there's other pieces of energy, Josh, that are not being detected that I think the models will essentially pick up on. You guys can eat in here. I don't care.
I know. I just eat in my room. Yeah.
You want to eat in your room?
I'll watch my TV show.
What show is that?
I'm going to start watching Better Call Saul.
Oh, great. Okay. All right. Awesome. He's laughing. Why'd you say that?
Because I finished Breaking Bad. It's actually pretty good.
Okay. All right. Well, awesome. So there's the track of the low. Notice how it starts to lose a little bit of its energy, and it does eject pretty quick, but there's the back edge energy that I think squeezes out just a little bit more than what the models show. So I want to go back to, real quick, the precipitation, and then we're going to just kind of roll through some of the comments here. So let's go to winter weather. Let's go to snow depth, and let's look here and see what we've got for the snow depth. And so it just, 2, 3, we can go all the way here to Clinton, 2, 6, 7. I'm telling you, Newton County, going to get blasted. No doubt about that. Mountain View, a little less. It all depends on that track of the storm system. But if we go back to our time here, and we click on this and look at a sounding, let's see what the profile is. That's all snow right there. There's no doubt about that. We go back in time a little bit. It's still all snow. Where is it not snow? It's not snow at the beginning of the profile right here when it starts precipitating, which, by the way, is about 6 o'clock in the evening. Still is pretty cold. I don't know. The models could be underdoing the amount of precipitation for because this could be all heavy snow and then it could accumulate. Okay, last thing I'm going to show you is this is the very last deal. It's the winter storm probability overall impact. Someone asked, is it going to be a winter storm? Well, if you'll notice here on the winter probability outlooks, here's the likelihood of having moderate impacts with winter weather. It's a pretty high percentage right there. And if we go over in time, you can see that that mainly focuses higher elevations of northwest Arkansas, including the I-49 corridor, and making its way east. Notice there's no winter weather impacts by Tuesday afternoon. There's very little by Tuesday night. There's much greater, though, by overnight Tuesday into Wednesday morning. Wednesday is going to be your trouble time. If you're doing any traveling, you won't have money issues Tuesday afternoon until Tuesday night. Let's zoom in here and look at major. What's the probability of major winter weather impacts? Major is where, you got some pretty significant deals. It shows around 30%. So, and then finally, the very last thing, this is the probability of exceeding warning criteria. Now, a warning is 4 inches of snow or greater. And you'll definitely see that, folks, is about over 80% in the Boston Mountains. Pretty large area over northwest Arkansas is 50 to 80%. Folks, this is 4 days out. 4 days out. So that's pretty substantial to see this far out with as far off as this gets. That's the probability on the day 4. It doesn't go any farther than that. And if we go to our Weather Prediction Center page, I'll just show you this real quick. They didn't have this before. Now they do for the day 3 through 7 threats. There it is. That area right there shows the potential for heavy snow the 24th of January. So after all that's said and done, this is the sum up, all right? Tonight, a little bit of precipitation. Tomorrow morning, it's going to change over to a light wintry mix where it's raining, maybe misting, maybe doing a little bit of some sleet pellets. Then it'll have a little bit of light snow. That's Sunday morning into the afternoon. Not a big deal. Doesn't cause issues. Temperatures will be above freezing. It'll only accumulate on elevated surfaces. Sunday night, it gets cold because it clears out. The next system comes in on Monday to the southwest United States. We'll get the high clouds rolling in on this by Sunday evening, by Monday evening. By Tuesday, it'll be probably pretty cloudy to start the day. By Tuesday afternoon, the clouds will really thicken up and you'll know a system's on the way. And by Tuesday night, that's when we'll start to see precipitation fall. Overnight Tuesday, it's going to be snowing. Gorilla flakes coming down, big clusters of flakes. It's going to be making it slushy. It's going to be a little treacherous on the roads. The roads will likely get bad on Wednesday morning because of the snow that's coming down, along with the temperatures cooling, the dynamic cooling, all that stuff. And then finally, Wednesday afternoon, the storm system will start winding down. So that is everything. Josh Rugger is on here, of course, and he says, be careful if you're going to the LSU game on Tuesday. Travel Thursday morning, Seth, could be still an issue, especially in the higher elevations, but this will try to melt pretty quick, and I think by Saturday, there might not be a whole lot of snow on the ground. Yeah, good note. We started off with that, so with Arkansas winning. Okay, we got a lot of comments. Here's what we can do. We'll kind of roll through as fast as I can for the next 10 minutes or so, and we'll take a look at this. So Facebook Live hype. The live is perfect. Cool. Everything worked out. That's awesome. So I know that I could do this from home. Audio is good. Can see and hear me. You can see that we're here at our house. Let that man Pinion play. Man, he was draining threes. All right. Awesome. Watching from Alma. Alma, you'll still get some snow, Nancy. I doubt you're on here anymore, but if you are, thank you for staying on the whole time. Alma will get some snow. It just won't be as much as northwest Arkansas. Get the bucket out, Brian. I think you're going to see some precipitation and some snow. Well, the TV is way too high. You know why? because the fireplace is underneath it, and they had to put the mantle right there above the fireplace a certain height. So I tried to get that lower. Believe me, I was looking at that. It's not on the wall. It's mounted. It's 100% mounted. It's just mounted just above that mantle. Which, by the way, when the wife puts decorations on it, it covers up the very bottom of it, and there's a lot of scores that I miss and stuff. You guys pumped for football? That's gonna be awesome. Chantel is goes Chiefs. Go Chiefs. If it does snow, do you think it'll be melted by the weekend? So I think a lot of areas will be melted. If you're still on here, but you watch the replay, how's Mountain Home looking? We talked about that. Probably around 2 to 4. Maybe more if the track is farther south, but that track, that ejecting of it, the system going northeast quickly, we'll watch it. It is feasting. It's pretty big. Oh, we do want to get back to that water vapor and track it. So let me load up. I did say I was going to do that. And so I don't know if this is going to work, but let's see. I'll try it out. I'm trying to load like 7 days of past data so you can see how this storm system was evolving. Take a look here. Going back up here. I think this is it. This is it. Nope. Did I delete it? I know I didn't delete it. Stand by here. Oh, there it is. Okay. There we go. All right, let's let that load, and we'll see if it ends up running. So in a nutshell, it may snow, no, it may not snow. No, in a nutshell, it will snow. It will 100% snow. There's no doubt about that. This is not an icing event, Catherine, so you don't have to worry about that. The conditions for icing is not a deal. Now, you could get some sleet, but that's not freezing rain that accumulates on power lines, so you don't have to worry about that. Thank you, Cindy, for the comment and the compliment. Thank you, Catherine. Christina, there's your comment. If you're still on here, thank you for hanging and for being on here. Let's take a look at it and see if we can get this on here. So here's what we're going to do. All right, water vapor. Let's take a look at where this system went and where it came from, because I always love to do that kind of backtrack. So I got to make this full screen in order to manipulate it. Looks like it's still struggling to load. There's so much data with this. I don't think it's done yet. It could just be my computer that's not loading properly. But there's the system right there that's organizing for the weekend. It's this one right here in the Pacific Northwest. So let me go to now. It's still loading. You can see it kind of slowly loading that data. Maybe it's done now. Let's see. Nope, it's not done. It's still going. Well, in the meantime, I'll still answer some more comments here because that's struggling there. But I will get back with that here. Gorilla Flakes, thanks. How much snow is going to get in my house? It depends on where your house is. Oh, thank you. Cool. That's awesome. Ryan Hall, he's definitely on it. He's on it way more than me because, I'm I'm working in the evenings and I don't do this all the time. So, but I appreciate that. 5 inches in Jasper. I think you're going to get more in Southwest Missouri. Even with the track of the low, remember the precipitation amounts are going to be probably more. The shield's going to be bigger. And so the precipitation area is going to be bigger. Southwest Missouri, you're going to be colder. I bet you get a half a foot. But if that track is farther south, then you start lowering on that. Can't miss work this week. I'm staying close to work. Good deal. I love the GFS. GFS is always crazy mode. No, you're not going to get 16 inches. Why does the GFS go Giga Ape? It does because it's immediately taking that QPF. But even the GFS snow depth was a lot less as well. Okay, looks like the loop finally stopped loading. So let's give her a shot. Let's see what happens. Let's go back in time here. All right, we can. So it looks like it's done loading. So here's the system we're tracking. Let's see where it came from. It's really cool to see how this evolves. So there it is on Friday morning, right here, and we were focused on that. On Thursday, I highlighted it, and you can see the way that that storm system kind of materializes. It really actually comes out of nowhere because you got this system, but then you got a piece of energy that's to the northwest of it, and look at that thing dig in there and dive in and then form. Pretty wild. Now, we're going to go back in time. I'll pan the globe around. And remember, we were looking at that south of the Aleutian Islands. There it is. We had it circled. So I think we had it pegged. Then it kind of becomes a little bit more difficult to find. Josh and I were circling it on Monday, I want to say we were looking at it, and we had it coming off the coast of Japan. And so right in this area, there's the energy that's moving through. And by the way, anytime you got what's called a zonal flow, where it's west to east with the Pacific jet or the polar jet, that's called high angular momentum, which can lead to significant amplification of the systems downstream, meaning that you can get large troughs of low pressure and large ridges of high pressure. And so there's the system. Let's track it along. There you see it evolving. Okay, there's the energy. We'll shift the globe over a little bit. We'll move along. There it is, kind of redeveloping to the southwest. You might think it's actually this system right here, but it's not. Then it tracks eastward. There it is right here. We're watching it on Thursday. Had that pegged perfectly. There it starts to evolve, make its way east. Did you see the way it kind of curved north? Really wild. Look at the way that right here you can see the developing low with the dry punch and all that stuff, and also what's called an inflection point. This is a determination of a developing low pressure system. Dr. Ken Crawford from OU taught me that. Then you can see that starts moving east. There's your low pressure system wrapping up, developing. Tilting back around here, looking at this. There's the storm system. And then on the back side, it redevelops again. So almost amazing, honestly, how the models can go that far out and can detect a storm. I mean, there's a good reason why it takes it in, takes it out, drops it, and it brings it back in. There's so many things on there that can go wrong with the development of that storm. Really cool. I hope you enjoyed that, and that was pretty neat to see exactly how that worked. So let's go here. No, I really don't want snow. It's going to snow. There's no doubt about that. Bella Vista about to win the snow lottery again. I think Bella Vista, I tell you who wins the snow lottery is Mount Sherman. Mount Sherman's going to get crushed. Let's see. I'd say go ahead, park the weather truck in my driveway around midday Tuesday. I hate for y'all not to make it again. Get that bucket out. I want to see a live shot on that. I like the way you explained all this snowy weather. Very interesting. Cool. So West Fork would be extremely lucky if we got 5 inches. Not exactly, because you're in the southern Washington County area, so you have colder temperatures. You got a little bit more terrain, and there's going to be a little more snow there. So I think 5 inches aren't out of the question. What are the chances this system takes a more southerly track? Very much so. You saw how much had to come to fruition in order for this storm system to evolve. It could very easily go much farther south. I've seen 1.5 of liquid with this too. 1.5 is obviously around a little bit more than 5 inches of snow. Will the roads be drivable? Not on Wednesday. Okay, thank you. Guess what Cade brought home? My son. You want to get in here?
Sure.
All right. Hop on in here, buds. He got me What'd you get me, Cade?
I got you a plate from Panda Express.
Yeah. Did you pay with it with your own money?
Mm-hmm.
That's a really nice guy right there. It took some coaxing, but we got it.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to play some Twisted here in a little bit?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
All right. Very cool. Also going to go crush the gym as well. Red River Rider. It is a Red River Rider, but it ejects pretty quickly. So what do you think? What do you think is going to happen, Cade? What do you think for snowfall? Okay, here we go.
My luck.
No, okay, here we go. Hold on. He's going to come in here. He's going to give his prediction. John Williams said, better call Saul. Let's go.
Okay. Due to my luck, I think there's probably going to be no school that's canceled.
Because you'll have AMI day on Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Still going to have AMI, but
pretty good forecast.
Probably still going to have to go.
Look what Josh said. Kate is 5 nights at Freddy's. The GOAT. That's got to be 50-20 mode. That's funny. Supposed to go to Springfield. Okay, how about this one? At 3:30 p.m. Weather's fine, 3:30 Springfield, but if you're staying there overnight, you're going to have trouble getting back. Changing to rain and back and forth as we are driving. You got it? Milk and bread situation, what do you think?
Possibly.
Okay. Be careful if you're going to the LSU game Tuesday. We showed you that. The winter storm watch is going to come out on I'm telling you this, it's coming out on Monday. No doubt about it. At least the winter weather advisory, but you'll see most likely a winter storm watch for Madison County, Carroll, Boone and Newton County. Winter weather advisory probably in the River Valley. Benton and Washington County still kind of the verdict's out on that. Thank you, Penny. I appreciate that so much. Fly, Eagles, fly, says some people on the football game. Go Cowboys, says someone. What's the accumulation potential looking like for Siloam Springs? So Siloam Springs is a little bit farther northwest. Thanks, Cade, though. I appreciate the yeah, go find a high-risk server on Twisted, and we'll go play. Cade the GOAT. Got to play some Twisted. What's the snow forecast for Bella Vista? Probably, I'm going to say 5 to 8. I'm going to go 5 to 8. Where's my Panda Express? I know. Y'all should go purchase bread and milk forecast graphic. We actually have, and I haven't adjusted it yet, but you know what? Let's show you the panicometer. All right. So I haven't edited this yet, but just to show you that we've got something in the making for this. Here's the panicometer. And you can see that right now we're at delays and closings. Grab the sled, time to panic. Late Friday through Saturday, this is the last system, so we're not really looking at that. So someone's asking about, so we'll have to see with the bread and milk on that one, a bread and milk graphic. Let's look at real quick the long range models for Siloam Springs, as you mentioned. What's going on with that? So let me show you that real fast. So this is showing about 2.5, 3 inches. So let me add that to the stream so you can see. So there's Siloam Springs, Debbie, 2.4 according to the European. If you're a snow lover, then you will want the GFS forecast because that goes nuts for Siloam Springs. Shows 9 inches. Doubt that happens. I think it's going to be about half of that. So I think it's going to be more than what the European shows. And I think it's going to be less than what the GFS shows. That's kind of the middle ground that we're looking at for that. I want everybody to be a student drivers, add a sprinkle of snow to the drive. Yep, I've got the salt ready. I'm ready to be going to Nelson's to get the sleds in Cave Springs. I think this will be a good snowball making and snowman making snow because it's wet. It's a real wet snow. So, all right, here's the deal. I'm headed out. I'm done with this Facebook Live. Josh might have another update tonight with the latest models. That'll be up to him. But I do know this, that he's got you covered with your forecast. As he said, he's grabbing some grubs and then heading into the station. I will be in tomorrow. and we'll dive into this again, and we'll take a look, and we'll have a better idea on that track. But winter storm is coming, folks. I think it's no doubt going to bring winter weather and snow potential. So thank you guys for watching. You have a great rest of your Saturday. Enjoy the football games today and tomorrow. Hogs won, Woo Pig, love that. And God bless. Have a great one, and we will catch you later.